Alright, today I'm going over Death's Shadow in Historic Best of 1. This deck plays its namesake card. Death's Shadow is a 4 of. This guy is a 13/13 that gets smaller as you have more life. Basically, we try to play a bunch of ways to get our life total down below 13 so that this thing can get big and then overrun the opponent. Typically, in the modern version of this deck, you'll run a lot of fetch lands and shock lands in order to bring your life total down. But here in Historic, we don't really need to do that because the card pool is a bit more diluted, and in this deck, we're actually running 4 copies of Adanto Vanguard. This card has an activated ability that allows you to pay 4 life at a time to give it indestructible. And generally, the play pattern in this deck is to try to land a Death's Shadow and then build to a turn where you can drop your life total with Adanto Vanguard and then swing in for the win. To get to that point, we run a bunch of Disruption, 4 copies of Thoughtseize, 2 copies of Mind Spike. This could be a Causal X return, but just something at 1 mana to get into their hand and get them to discard something is generally what we want in this slot. We've got Knight of the Ebon Legion as a 2 of. This card's just great for pushing damage early game, and this is sometimes a option when we don't have a Death's Shadow. We also have 3 Esper Sentinels. This helps us get card draw. I'd put a 4th here, but I don't have the 4th wild card available right now, so instead we're running 2 Alseid of Life's Bounty instead of our 4th Esper Sentinel and 3rd Knight of the Ebon Legion. But this card ends up being pretty sweet as well because we can just get our Death's Shadow through if we need to just slip it in. If we don't have that option, then we can just end up going over the top. We play 4 copies of Temur Battle Rage, which gives our creature double strike and generally trample because we cast it when our Death's Shadow is at least 4 or greater. In terms of removal, we run 2 copies of Feed the Swarm to get rid of something that's on the battlefield, but generally we want to deal with their hand first before anything actually gets onto the battlefield. In terms of getting things back from our graveyard, we have 1 copy of Abiding Grace, which can bring back a 1-drop every turn, or bring our life total up enough to the point where we can stabilize ourselves, but we can get a Adanto Vanguard out to drop our life total when we need it to go down. We have 4 Ranger Captain of Eoses, which are just a good 3/3 body that allow us to find a 1/1 when we need it. Having 4 mana and playing one of these and then dropping like a Death's Shadow out feels pretty good generally. We've got 2 Larisas of the Dream Den just as a value piece. Our threats get removed a bunch, so to play them out of the graveyard is pretty awesome. We also have 2 copies, that is, of Agadeem's Awakening. Then the lands typically are not too special, just a bunch of semi-untapped lands and then a couple that deal damage to you, so the Pain dual lands. You could run the shock lands in here as well if you'd like, but I've found that having the Adanto Vanguard allows you to control your life as much as you really need to with this deck. The games go pretty fast with this one, so we'll just try to hop into a quick game of 7 and see how we do. Alright, here we go with round 1. We've got a Knight of the Ebon Legion on 1, and then a couple Bloodchief Thirsts, which I actually realized I forgot to talk about in the deck tech. These are basically our other piece of removal. And these are our only ways of dealing with a Planeswalker that gets onto the battlefield. So for what it's worth, these are pretty nice to have as well. In what is a currently pretty creature-dominated meta, it's nice to have these early. So I think I'm good with this hand. I will probably just run out a Sulphurous Springs to start, and then get a Knight of the Ebon Legion out early. We don't really need to shock for 3 with Agadeem's Awakening right off the bat, though if we need to down the stretch, that's a good way to get our life total down. We've already got the Adanto Vanguard in hand, though, so that's not really necessary. So I think I'm just playing an Adanto Vanguard on 3, and then if we need to, we'll shock Agadeem's Awakening in to get our 3rd mana to pump Knight next turn. Okay, so this is enchantments. We'll be killing the Sithis this turn, and with our Adanto Vanguard becoming a 3/1 in combat, we'll have the 4 damage to trigger Knight. So I'll play a tapped Agadim, Blood Chief's Thirst the Sithis, taking an extra damage, and we will crash in. Opponent's down to 15, and we grow the Knight this turn. We'll see what they play next. Hopefully another creature so we can use our second Blood Chief's Thirst. And it's a Sterling Grove. That's not amazing. We do have 2 answers for that in the deck, so we'll hope that we get them. Otherwise, Blood Chief's Thirst is going to be a pretty dead card here. So if that's not going to be an option... Ooh, nice. The Temur Battle Rage is cool. We cannot cast the Ranger Cap here. So it looks like we'll be on Knight, Pump, plus... Actually, not anything else, because we only have 4 mana. Okay, so I will attack, pump you, and then move through the turn. And we grow our Knight one more time. There's the Jukai Naturalist, that's fine. And they decide to concede here. We had the Temur Battle Rage to push through this turn. I think we were looking pretty good. All right, so that's 1-0 after 1. On to the next one. All right, time for round 2. Right off the bat, we have double Esper Sentinel. That's pretty cool. I don't get to see this very often. Shattered Sanctum on turn 1 will probably be the play, and then we'll just hope to draw into another white source down the line. We've got the Adanto Vanguard again, that's cool, and a Ranger Cap for once we get to that point. We drew another white creature. Hopefully our white land will be able to support all of this. And it looks like the opponent is on blue-black zombies. This is going to be able to go pretty wide. And this Esper Sentinel might actually not be very useful here. I will play the Adanto Vanguard this turn in the hopes that I can attack and get a trade here at the expense of 4 life. Opponent likely attacks here, and then I'm just going to hope that they play something that I can kill with 3 toughness. This will, that works. Reading the Adanto, they should attack in with Blade Stitch. I won't block. And go to my turn. So we've got a Luris if we want to. I'm going to move in with the Adanto Vanguard, see if they'd like to take 3. I think they're going to be fine with it because they hit me way harder next turn. And I'll get that Esper Sentinel down in the hopes that they actually play non-creature spells in this deck. I'm perfectly fine letting the opponent chunk me down. I just have to draw into a Death Shadow sometime soon. Decayed zombies are going to be pretty annoying to get through. We do get the Esper Sentinel trigger. They do have enough mana to pay for it. And we'll have to discard probably an Alseid and Ranger Cap, since we have double of each. And they will get their little zombie guy. And that's okay. Oh, they get 2 zombies. Okay. That's a bit worse. And they're big. Well, we're in a bit of a predicament here. We take 4 this turn, and then we're going to take 10 next turn. We'll at least have a 2-turn clock. Looking pretty dangerous here with only 2 lands. Kind of need to hope for a land off the top. A Thoughtseize is not bad. I will probably drop out the Alseid right now and just trade that thing for life. And then I'll Thoughtseize my opponent, see what they're working with in the next few turns. Death Baron is not amazing, and then I don't really care about the Meat Hook Massacre because it's much worse for me if they have all their creatures. So we get rid of Death Baron here, and really we're just looking at losing a bunch of life through their attack next turn. I will at least attack with the Danto Vanguard, get 3 damage in. Then my 2 creatures are going to have to be responsible for saving me here. They've got enough to do a -3/-3. Well, they only need to do a -1/-1 here with the meat hook, so I'll draw through Esper Sentinel. Sure. I'm going to have to... Well, if I take 4 life here, I'm going to die, so I actually have to let the Dante Vanguard die. Alseed can't save it. Okay, that's fine. We'll maybe get a card here. Nope, they paid. Bummer. All our stuff's dead. And now, at least we're taking a bit less this turn. Total of 6. That's quite a bummer. So I'm just on Esper Sentinel Mind Spike. And I can at least get rid of this card. I do go to 10, and I will have to sack the Esper Sentinel, or block with it rather. And really this is going to be a case of either I die now or I pray for a land to cast Luris. Not looking too good here. Opponent is reading Esper Sentinel. If I were them, I'd just be attacking right now. They're reading Meat Hook. Interesting. I wonder what that card in hand is. They might be sacrificing stuff to try to drain me for the last few points. That makes sense. I will be taking 7 damage no matter what, so if they have a way to sack 3 creatures, they have me here. Opponent trying to find the line. You can do it, I believe. Alright. Cool, and that is it. The 2 zombies that attack will die at the end of combat and drain me. Oh, alright, they're giving me a turn. Unfortunately, doesn't really seem to matter. I think I'll just double shock myself with the Vanguard. Oh, I guess it won't let me do that. Well, I'll make their I'll make their job a little bit easier here. And there's the second Death Baron. I won't block. Okay, so we kind of just got stuck on a 2-lander. That's pretty unfortunate. Definitely could have and probably should have mulliganed that hand. But, oh well. We make these mistakes to learn from them. Anyways, on to round 3. Alright, round 3. Here we go. We've got double white plains and a bunch of non-plains cards. So I'm going to learn from last round and mulligan this hand. The mana's much better in this hand, and I do have a Thoughtseize off the rip, so I'll just bottom my Temur Battle Rage. And here we go. Opponent's on a Evolving Wilds, so I'm guessing this is not a creature aggro deck. And we've got a forest out of it. And a nice forest at that. This is one of the Unfinity ones. Cool. I've got to play a tapped land here. Kind of regretting not playing the Overgrown Tomb here. Not Overgrown Tomb. The Hollow... Not the Hollow Fountain either. Whatever the white-black chalk land is. So we're on probably werewolves. Red-green werewolves. I can get an Alseed out. And then I can decide if I want a Knight or Thoughtseize. I think I probably want a Thoughtseize here, because they're going to be putting out a lot of creatures, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Here we go. So we have the Snarling Wolf. That thing's kind of annoying. Vastwood Surge. This guy. This guy's probably going to be pretty annoying. And this is also annoying. Well, a lot of their creatures are going to be annoying. So I think I'm probably on taking the Packsong Pup. I guess it doesn't really matter since all these are pretty cheap. Instant or sorcery spell. I think they're just gonna have a wolf or werewolf around for longer, since this already is going to be turning into a werewolf. Yeah, I'll be getting rid of that card now. Next turn, it looks like I'll just play a Knight. or I can cast a Luris. So in that case, I'm perfectly fine sacking the Alseed in one of these coming turns. Okay. Here, I think I'm going to cast a Danto and a Knight. And then next turn, I can start crashing in with the Knight. Opponent's on 2 mana right now. They could have a fight effect here. That would be pretty unfortunate for me. And they're taking their sweet time. I'm wondering if they have that third land. They might be stuck on mana. Okay, so looks like a combat trick here. I'm fine taking one. I couldn't imagine what they could have in hand to make me regret not blocking. I imagine I'll take like 4 damage here. Or not. Do they have some spectacle? Interesting. Okay, so got the Sulphurous Springs. That's pretty sweet. I can Knight this turn and pump my existing Knight. That seems pretty nice. So I'd like to try to do 4 damage here. A Danto Vanguard and Knight going in will be enough to do it. If they block the Knight, I get to kill Trap Breaker. Otherwise... So I actually want to go in with all 3. Whoops. Move to combat. I want to attack with all 3, because if they block the Knight and force me to pump it, I get in 4 damage here. If they kill Alseed, I can just sack it and give one of these... Well, actually, if they block this, I'll have 4 damage already, so I can just cast this again through Luris. So we'll attack with 3, see how they block. And I think no matter what they do here, I have something that will give me a Knight of the Ebon Legion trigger. There's definitely a lot of pre-combat math that you have to do with this deck, but there are quite a lot of ways that you can find safe plays for you to make, if that makes sense. So I'll let the Alseed die here. We'll be doing 4 damage anyway. And I think what I'll actually do is cast the second Ebon Legion for the end of turn trigger, and then I'll just get the Luris out for next turn. Take 1 from Battlefield Forge. That is fine. Life total is looking good. Alright, and we'll end turn. Double trigger on Ebon Legion Knight. Alright. So if they've got a fight effect, they probably want to take out Luris. And if they end up flipping their creatures this turn, then I can cast my Alseed plus whatever I draw for turn. There's the fight effect. Unfortunately, I don't have the Alseed anymore, so I cannot give it protection. So we'll lose Luris. And then the question is, what are they going to do next? So they're going to push for damage here. I'm fine taking that damage. They're going to flip all their stuff. No, they don't flip all their stuff. I've got 4 mana here. I can fake having a combat trick here. And what I'll do is just move in, pump one of the Knights, and just get in for as much damage as I can here. They're down to 6, and I can just end the turn here. Knights get a little bigger, and we'll see what they can do here. They found that 3rd mana, Luckily, they are getting screwed on lands the same way that I was last game. And they're going in for another 5, at least. Alright, they're trying to grow and push for the kill this turn. That's 10. They'll need a giant growth here. Oh, and they have the giant growth. Bummer. Just enough. So this was actually a pretty interesting deck. It has a lot of the same goals that ours does. They just happen to get there a little bit quicker. It looks like my decision to Thoughtseize the werewolf synergy card might not have been the correct thing, because I could have taken this trample creature. But I imagine that if they had had that on the battlefield, it would have gotten pretty big and would have achieved a pretty similar win. Anyway, I think probably one of the lessons here is that this deck doesn't defend really well. So in the event that you're just throwing 1/1s in front of big creatures, you'll probably want to Thoughtseize away the trample creatures first to make sure that you can protect yourself. Anyways, so that is 3 games. We're 1-2 so far. And we got 4 more to go. So let's move on. Alright, we're down 2-1. 2 losses, 1 win going into round 4. Let's see about this hand. So we have the early Esper Sentinel. It's going to have to be played on turn 2 or 3. And we have a Dante Vanguard and Ranger Cap. Ranger Cap currently can't be cast. So while I would normally take this hand, I think I'd be happy to mulligan, since this is functionally a 6-card hand with Teamer Battle Rage, not useful in the early game. We got another Teamer Battle Rage, but now we have a Thoughtseize, and it can be cast on turn 1. This is much better, and I'm happy just bottoming the Teamer Battle Rage. They lead on a island. I could Esper Sentinel or try to Thoughtseize off the rip. I think that I want to Esper Sentinel first. Take 1 damage off of that, and that goes in without an issue. So they may not be on counterspells. This could be the prowess deck. Anyway, I'm going to drop a swamp. I'll lead on Alseed to check for a counterspell, and then I'll rip a Thoughtseize. So this looks like just get a Hullbreaker Horror or Goldspan Dragon out as fast as possible. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is going to be kind of annoying, and Heb the Eternal, not great either. That is actually pretty good against us. I think I'd hate to see Goldspan Dragon the most, because that just gives them more out of their treasures, so I will take that. And so now I know that this is going to be a game of just going as quickly as we possibly can. Their turn 3 looks like Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, which we don't have an easy way to get rid of the creature, sadly. We draw what is our 3rd Teamer Battle Rage. Not awesome. What I can do is hold up Battle Rage to trade for one of these. I'll potentially try to trade for the Alseed. Hop in with that. See if they declare blocks. Otherwise, I'll just gain a life here. Alright, free life. Then I will put this in tapped and cast my Knight, leaving up Alseed to give something protection. Seems fine to me. Looks like they're going to try to get to their unexpected windfall. That's going to be a pretty pivotal turn for them. So the fact that I am still sitting here only having done 2 damage to them is pretty bad. Next turn, I get another Alseed attack. I can attack with Knight. Okay, Esper Sentinel's gonna tax them 1 on the opt. Do they plan to double spell, or are they just gonna pay for this? They will just pay for it. Okay, so that has wasted a little bit of a turn for them. Esper Sentinel definitely paying off in this matchup. And so they're just trying to ramp here. I think that it would be great if I could double block here, but I really need Knight to stick around, so I'm going to have to just not block. Tramway Station coming out. Looks like I don't really want to do anything here. I'll attack in with the Knight and Alseid again, and then I'll shock in... Oops. I will shock in my Agadeem's Undercrypt. Alright, swing in with 2 attacks. They don't block. I'm going to pump this. And they're going to take 5. That'll trigger Knight at the end of turn. Then I can give my Esper Sentinel protection if I need to. They've got Reflection of Kiki Jiki, which is about to be a huge problem for me. I don't have the untapped land. Okay. And I might just get beaten down by a Goldspan Dragon for the rest of the game. I take 6 here. That's just not amazing. And I have a really big need to get a untapped mana source here so I can pump and Temur Battle Rage. I don't really care about my life total too much at the moment. And here we go. I have a 2-turn clock to kill the opponent right now. Knight of the Eben Legion will be a 5/5, so I can deal 10 damage this next turn, assuming that they don't block with Kiki Jiki. If they do, I will still be on a 2-turn clock, so I am 1 turn cycle ahead of them. That's great. They're going to have 6 mana next turn, which means they'll actually have Hullbreaker Horror. Oh, they've actually just gotten rid of that this turn. I get my card, and I got the Thoughtseize. Now that's amazing. So I can check their hand. Alright. So if I don't get the Temur Battle Rage untapped land, then I have Pump Knight Thoughtseize. Nope. Alright, well there's Neheb. Alright. So they've got a blocker, and now they got a Goldspan in the air. Okay. I found the Battlefield Forge. This means that I can Knight and give it double strike. I think that has to be how I attempt to do this. Thoughtseize, not amazing right now. Yeah, we're not looking too good. If I attack and they don't block, I take... Ooh. The math on this doesn't really work out. I'm going to take 6 next turn, so taking damage off of Sacred Peaks is not good. Oh, but I don't need to. Never mind. Does one of these not give me... Oh, these all deal damage? No, this is... Okay, this actually works well. So I can Knight. I can move here, attack, see if they block. If they don't block, I Temur Battle Rage. And I'm able to do that. And now I have functionally 8 life here. So I have to chump block Neheb and one of the Kiki Jikis. I take 6 going to 1. So if they can remove one of my creatures, I die. And if they can produce something with haste, then it's bad for me. Alright. And, oh yeah, right. This is the Reflection of Kiki Jiki deck. Of course they can do that. Yeah, they've got 8 damage in this guy. Pretty cool deck. Not unhappy to be bowled over by this deck. Goldspan Dragon has always been such a strong card. Preventing that is by... far and away the first thing that you need to do. And I wasn't able to do that this game. So we're now 1-3. Going into round 5. Let's hope that we can pull it together for the end of this little league. Okay, so this is game 5. Thoughtseize in hand, got the Alseed, and the means to cast it on turn, either 2 or 3. And an Esper Sentinel. So maybe I'm Esper Sentinel on turn 2 with a Thoughtseize. I'll take it. Alright, there's Sacred Peaks. Opponent is on black. Here's Esper Sentinel. There's Thoughtseize. Let's see what they're working with. This is Clerics. Curses. Okay. Freaka's Libation won't hurt me once I have these other things out, particularly Alseed, so I don't want to sack that to anything. Let's just make sure they don't have any creatures. If I get an untapped white, I can do Ranger Captain, or I can Adonto Alseed. Okay, so it's going to be one of the two then. Alright. So I could have to sack Adonto Vanguard here. Or I could just get rid of Sentinel. We'll see if they play their 3-drop. Or maybe they're missing a land and they're just trying to feed the swarm. That'd be my guess. Alright, they pass through, that's kind of surprising. Get an Alseed in so I can protect something, and time to swim. Battle Rage we're not in close not close enough to use the Teamer Battle Rage yet. But I will have it up. We're here for a Thoughtseize. Let's run the Mirthless, minions return. I can get rid of the Nighthawk Scavenger on 3. Yeah, we just want to keep them off of creatures. Lovely. Next turn I hit for 8, so it's a 2-turn clock. I can hit for as much as 8. It'll at least be a 2-turn clock regardless. Let's go. Got the draw, and we got a mana. It's the wrong type though. We're playing with a large pile here. Alright. Back to me. I've got to feed the swarm if they try anything, and cool. So far, just a pretty good game of getting around their game plan with Thoughtseize. They got to do something here, otherwise it's game over. Feed the swarm, hurts them. Yeah, that's the best that they can do. I do this, and I'll sack Alseed and kill with Teamer Battle Rage. Alright, nice. Bounced back. There we go. So that is 2-3 after 5 games. There we go. Alright, double Death Shadow right off the bat. That is pretty bad, and I don't really want to see that. Alright, mulligan that. Another Death Shadow, but we've got Knight this time. And we're one away from Ranger Captain. We'll keep that bottom, the Death Shadow. Swamp Knight. Springleaf Drum, okay, that one's interesting. Out. Unless they play a creature, I'm probably activating Knight this turn. There's the Soul Warden. They probably won't want to block with that though, so I'll have a chance here. Okay, Triumph of Gerard. So I have my Ranger Cap next turn into probably Esper Sentinel. No, I can't do that. I can get another Knight, or I can get a Death Shadow. So I'm probably getting another Knight. Okay. They grow the Soul Warden. I'm not really worried about that. Unless this is All That Glitters or some sort of artifact enchantment synergy. Elspeth's Command. Oh, okay, so this is actually just soldiers. Alright. I'll start off with either Ranger Cap. Well, for sure I'm casting Thoughtseize, so let's see what they have now. Another Cathar's Crusade. Okay, so I need to produce. I need to get rid of their creatures and then go under. Okay, this seems like a fine card to get rid of, and then I'll get rid of Battlefield Forge, cast my Ranger Cap. Do I need to get ahead of this and get a Death Shadow? I will search, and oh right, I wanted an Esper Sentinel, which I'll just cast next turn. Okay. They have 3 mana available, potentially 4, so they can't cast the Cathar's Crusade. So I'll just hit them for 2. Alright, I'll take a little damage here, but that honestly just gets me closer to a Death Shadow. I'll be at 14 here, 12 if I cast Ranger Captain. Okay. They're ramping for Cathar's Crusade, so I for sure want to play my Esper Sentinel. That'll be kind of an issue because I need another white source, huh? If they hit me for 5 here, I can whack them real hard next turn, though. They only attack with 1. Okay. Thoughtseize. Do I care about any of the things in their hand? So Citizen's Crowbar makes a little dude. And 1 counter on each creature you control. So that's going to get out of hand real quick. I have to decide if I want that out of their hand or if I want to get a Death Shadow online. Regardless of what it is, I think playing an Esper Sentinel is the move this turn, so let's go ahead and attack. See how they block. Okay, so they're taking their 4 damage this turn, so I don't have to do anything. I guess it's a Esper Sentinel Lurrus then. Because they can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana next turn. Yeah, okay. Sure, you can gain your life, and I'll cast my Lurrus. Yep, they're gaining their life, sure. Okay. They're healing quite a bit here. They have their 2 mana for the crowbar. Okay, I'll get my Esper Sentinel draw. Get a second Luris, so I'm happy to trade. Yeah. Cool, so soldiers are going wide now. I'm going to take 2 a turn. I'm now in range of having a Death Shadow, so I need to try to get one of those. So this will be Ranger Cap. I'm getting a Death Shadow, go to 10. Death Shadow, cast Death Shadow. Next turn I can Thoughtseize one of those away after getting a draw on whatever they're giving me this turn. So I can attack with Luris, go to 13, that'll kill my Death Shadow. So we can probably not make any good attacks here, so I'll just have to defend, take another 2, grow the Death Shadow. Okay. Will they... Oh, they'll let me draw? Nice. Another Ranger Cap. We can get a second Death Shadow out. That makes their Soul Warden bigger, but I do not care. Okay. Perpetual +1/+1 and flying. That is 4 damage this turn. Probably out of the range of being able to use Thoughtseize now. Well, actually, I'm not going to be able to. Death Shadow is a 7/7. They have 21 life. It's not looking too good here. I can throw away a Luris, though. So, Ranger Cap, Death Shadow is nice. Thoughtseizing them doesn't really seem to be that good anyway. They're going to get big soon. Yeah, I think maybe Ranger... So it's either Ranger Cap for a second Esper Sentinel or Ranger Cap for another Death Shadow. This is kind of a difficult choice to make. So I think I want the Esper Sentinel because this game hinges around me getting a Teamer Battle Rage. So I'll take my second Esper Sentinel, or do I want an Alseid of Life's Bounty? There's not one in the graveyard, so actually maybe this is what I want. Because now I can take a damage, make that an 8/8, hit them for 8. That grows my knight, and then I can recast this. So bam. Give it pro white. Then swing in, swing in. See if they want to trade for Luris. They can actually just eat it with Soul Warden. It's pretty obvious that I don't have a combat trick for that. So if I get this trade, that's amazing. Thank you. I'll get 3 more life out of it. And interesting. I need to... Do I need to Ranger Captain in their upkeep? No, I don't care about that at all. Okay. Yeah, I'll pass through, grow my knight, and see what they do here. They make a bigger Soul Warden. Can they give something flying, though? Right, okay. So they can hit me for 4. Sure, I'm going to draw from this. Danto Vanguard is fine. I need to draw exactly my double strike card. And even then it might not be enough. Take 6, go to 2, that's actually perfect. Oh, that is almost what I needed. So I have 11 damage here. I have to swing in with the squad. Either way I'm going to die. Then it might just be pump with Knight. Yeah, because I die in combat regardless. So they have 1, 2, 3 blockers. They're gonna be able to do this, I believe. Sure. Go to 1. Oh, wait. No, I'd have to do it with this. So, oh man, they're at 18 now. So I will have to sack you. Well, hold on. Let me do this, taking a damage from Forge. Sack. Targeting this. Give it pro white is correct. Then, yeah, it's just gonna have to be a swing in. I honestly think I just... Oh. This is colorless. Oh, no. Okay, well, I'll be getting blown out by that mistake. I'ma just Thoughtseize them and die. Good night. Alright, that one's kind of a blunder there. I could have had it there. I think I just missed the Teamer Battle Rage. It was a 4-ev, just didn't draw it. That happens. If I'm not mistaken, we're 3-3 or 2-4 after 6 games. So on to the last one. We'll see if we can get a win here. Alright, last game. Let's see if we can end on a win. I can turn to Esper Sentinel Knight. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, double Agadeem's Awakening, if we really want to push for Death's Shadow. Thornwood Falls Tapland. Don't know what I'm going to be playing against. Maybe I do just shock this in for 3. And just try to get right in there. I can Nadonto Vanguard and take 4 this turn. No, I can't. This doesn't come in untapped. So there's no way to ensure that I have a Knight trigger this turn. Now there is. No, there's not. I need, okay, so that actually doesn't work. So I have to play this as... No, no, this does work. What am I saying? Cast this. Pay to give it indestructible. Boom. Now I've lost 4 life, so Knight triggers. Cool. Now I can play Death Shadow this turn, and then if I can make it to a Teamer Battle Rage, it's looking good. So Esper Sentinel, Death Shadow. Take a life. Cool. 2-mana counterspell? Or Growth Spiral. One of the two. Alright, cool, I got it. Do I need 1 mana up? Nope. Alright. And swing in here. I forget if I've taken life this turn. I am going to just ensure that I have. Should have been paying attention to that. So next turn I can go to 3, making Death's Shadow a 10-10, 10, 13, 14, 15. I'll just be 1 off, but if I pay for something with Battlefield Forge, I'm good. Okay. Incongruity. That's an interesting play. I'll take the 3/3, that's quite okay. That doesn't help them at all. Oh, even of the Luris? That's just unfair. Now I have more Adante Vanguards. And they are on a 1-turn clock here, unless they can board wipe. In blue-green, I don't expect them to. Cavalier of Thorns, fine. That does not save you, unfortunately. Alright, that's game. Swimming with the team. Alright, ended on a win where we actually got to do the aggro thing that we were supposed to be doing. All in all, good deck. Death Shadow is pretty fun and a lot of it's a good mental exercise. Fun one, definitely give it a try if you are looking for something to play. Otherwise, thank you for listening.